Hello everybody, and welcome to my first Mythgard video in quite some time, at least one that's not a puzzle video. And I'm excited to finally get back to making these for YouTube because the beta is upon us. That's right, open beta for this game is going to be starting on September 19th, if you haven't been paying attention to my Twitter and the other announcements. So if you've been waiting to play this, you will now have an opportunity very, very soon. Again, September 19th, this Thursday, the game will be available to everyone. You can play it on PC, Android, iOS, and the account wipes have already occurred, so everything that you do from now on going forward is part of your permanent collection. So I wanted to make this video for a couple of reasons. One is because I wanted to remind people that it was coming. So again, Thursday, September 19th, if you have not been playing this game, I really encourage you to check it out. It's fantastic. But also because I just wanted to play some games. So I have opened a fair number of packs, but I'm far from a collection. In fact, very, very far from a complete collection. But I've got a pretty decent budget Valkyrie deck built, so I wanted to show the deck off, play a game, just so you can see some gameplay. Again, some of you, it may have been a while since you've seen the game in action. In fact, the last time that I did like major Mythgard stuff, we didn't even have all of the colors in the game. So in the alpha, they have added another color. It's purple. They've added more quality of life stuff, if you can believe it. And I just really like the game. I think it's in a really good spot. So like I said, I wanted to show some stuff off. We're going to show off this Valkyries deck, and it's called Valkyries because there's a pretty heavy like tribal theme with Valkyries, specifically around cards like Road Queen, cards like, where is it? This Chosen, right? Stormdaughter's Chosen. You get +1/+1 when your other Valkyrie minions die. And I did go and craft, this was one of my early crafts because I knew I wanted to play Valkyries. I like the archetype. Ingrid Stormdaughter, again, returns all Valkyrie cards from your boneyard to your hand. Morning Wives, again, is a beefy Valkyrie, but she's not required for the archetype. In fact, she's great in just about any blue deck because her stat line and her ability is just quality. But overall, this is a pretty standard Valkyrie build. I'm missing a Bragi Runesinger, for example, and a couple of other cards. Now, I'm running a Valkyrie deck right now that chooses to run yellow as its secondary color. Traditionally, Valkyrie decks are very primary blue with like a splash of another, and the splash that you run can like vary depending on personal preference. I really like the yellow version because Orbital Jamming Satellite is super annoying. But also, Bulwark is just a fantastic card if you're playing aggressive or like mid-range style decks. This gives you some very, very good trading potential, and it cycles and draws a card, so it's just a really powerful effect, and I'm a big fan of Bulwark. So this is the list. Other things that I'm missing, right? So like I'm running Smite as my hero power because I still, for whatever reason, have not unlocked Infuse, but once that comes up, I would actually switch it. I would prefer Infuse because it just, again, allows for better trading. But we're going to jump on the ladder. We're going to play one game, win or lose. There's a chance I could just go ahead and lose this. But we're going to play one game on the ladder, so again, that you can kind of see the gameplay if it has been a while. And then when Thursday comes around, I'm probably going to do another video that's going to showcase one of the cooler features, in my opinion, of the game. And one of that features is featured decks. So we're going second here against our opponent. If you're wondering what these big full art cards are, these are like the premiums in this game. They call them prestige cards, and this tells us an awful lot about what our opponent is playing. And in this instance, I think we want to get rid of one of these. So when you see this, you're usually pretty safe in your assumption that you're playing against a green heavy, spell heavy deck. They're usually blue-green, and they focus on cards that give you bonuses when you play spells. Now, our opponent just played a purple card, so this is not the case. They're going to go ahead and take a pretty big tempo lead against us there. And we want to answer. Now, we're going to be playing a lot of stuff on curve here. So this is not likely to see play because it's just inferior to the Valkyrie Tough. But again, we want to contest this. We want to try to get rid of this. Just because whenever they play any spell, this also will deal 1 damage to us. And again, they're going to be playing a spell-heavy deck. Now the downside is that decks like this are very good at like establishing early tempo. So like they get like 1 or 2 things on board and then they just keep making favorable trades with things. Oh, they're going to play a stealth purple minion, so we will get this trade. And then I love Bulwark, but we need to give ourselves some source of yellow. So we'll go ahead and do that now, and we're going to use our own Ice Spike here. We don't know what it is yet, but we suspect it might be Shinobi of the Wind. And, oh, it was Smoke. Smoke's also a really quality card. And we're going to go ahead and develop our...
All right ahead.
Our Frecky Scout. Now, this came back to our hand after it had died because of our path. So again, if you're not familiar with the game, in this game you have a path and a power. Paths are things that modify like your starting health and they give you passive abilities. They also are the way that the game balances who goes first versus second with this pursuit. And then power is like a hero power from Hearthstone, but since there's no classes, you get to like mix and match as you see fit. So it's good stuff all around. This is a bit of a bummer because we don't have a good way to get rid of this outright. Unless we use our Thunderclap. Now, we could just go ahead and do that, and that's reasonable, or we could bounce it. So we have to make that decision. I actually think Thunderclap's going to be correct. We're going to send that back. We're going to take the attack. We'll take this attack here. Then we'll just Thunderclap it away. The other option, again, was bouncing it, but this is such a good tempo play against larger threats that I think you need to save this. Specifically, these green decks will often run a mythic called Zera. It's a dragon that gets big bonuses whenever they play a spell. And so what they like to do is get Zera, and if it sticks for a turn, then you just ramp out a bunch of spells and swing for a ton of damage, right? So that's ultimately what we are trying to prevent there. And now we've got a decision to make. We could play this because it will go to a 4/4 once we make this trade. Or we could just play Kara, who's going to naturally be a 5/4 and get bigger. This is also a better, like, saturation of our resources. So I do think that we're going to go with her.
Is that all you've got?
Oh, that's right. We have to do it here. Because of the lurker. So the decoy means that they're going to basically draw a card and ramp. Love that placeholder art. It is, it's hitting... let's actually swift this away. It is hitting open beta, but there's a couple of cards still with placeholder art. But the art that it does have, in my opinion, is very, very well done. Oh, Mutton Morphosis! I both love and hate that card. So, gets rid of our big hitter. I really love the sidecar here, but I think that we might end up tossing that back. Just because getting ourselves up to 6 is kind of a big deal. We'd like to be able to play Brainstorm and other cards. But also we want to be able to start zapping them, and that's probably the weakest card in our hand, so we will go ahead and do that. We will play the Chosen before doing our free move with Swift and then taking the attack. We'll take these attacks here, get our zap in, and end the turn. And so again, we're playing, it's like an aggressive mid-rangey list. We don't have a really high top end, but again, we're trying to like take control of the board, push damage. They surrender, so we're going to get a victory. And we want to make sure that we give our thumbs up to say, well played, good game. This is also, this thumbs up is how you earn a secondary resource for crafting called MAAT, mat. You know, if you want to earn those mats, you got to give the thumbs up. Very similar to like the Gwent system, if you're familiar with that. And, hey look, we were promoted to Bronze 2. I suppose now is a a good time for me to also mention, as we jump back to the main menu here, just how the leagues, the ladders work. So you start in bronze, and there are like 10 steps to each of the tiers, right? So you go through bronze 1, bronze 2, bronze 3, yada yada. Then there's silver, gold, mithril, champion. So starting very low because we just had a reset. I don't actually know exactly how long the seasons are going to be going forward, but as you can see, some folks have already put in an awful lot of games because, yes, open beta starts Thursday, but there is like a mini closed beta period that has kicked off this week. That's why I'm able to film and record this. But again, the account wipes have already happened, and you're not going to be missing out on a lot. You don't have any fears like, oh, I'm going to be way behind all these other players, because we're talking like, you know, 4 or 5 days of a lead time that they have. So if they have a ton of cards, if they have a big head start, it's because they put money into the game, and the 4 days make no difference in that, right? Like if you're like Aeolus, for example, I'm going to pick on her for a minute, and you've put a lot of money into the game because you want those shiny prestige cards. Doesn't matter if she did that 4 days early or not, the money's the money. So I think in general the game is very free to play friendly. I know that's gonna be a question. I know that's something people ask. I do think it's very free to play friendly. The only thing that will feel slow at the start is the rate at which you acquire myths. But the good news is that those are like unique legendaries in this game, and they're not as swingy as in other games. They're not like as required. So you can really do well with budget decks in this list, in this game with those lists. And yeah, just overall, I like the game. I'm excited that we're finally hitting the point where I can make content regularly for it. So you can expect to see some more videos coming soon. Like I said, for launch day on Thursday, I'll probably show off the featured deck feature in the game, because I think that new players are going to love that. And anyway, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the future Mythgard videos.